Hi, Sonia Tafili-Pipi here, and I'm privileged today to be able to interview the gorgeous Kerry Stevenson from Sydney. Thank you for joining us.
Lovely to be here, Sonia, and thanks for having me on your program.
No worries. Now, as you can see, the beautiful piece of jewellery around Kerry's neck is a little bit of
Can you see that?
Yeah, we can. Pretty good. Kerry's going to explain to us not only what that is, but a little bit about what she does, and really does it well. And I'm so excited to hear what you're going to say.
Well, thanks for having me on the program, Sonia. I think you know that my passion is helping people to protect and preserve their wealth. And if they don't have wealth, having the right mindset. So first and foremost, I am a wealth coach and I help people understand money. Most people
We all need that, Kerry. We all need that.
We do indeed. And once a year, annually, I hold Australia's largest gold conference. And again, that's teaching people about what is gold, why I believe everybody should own gold as part of their portfolio. And as my coach, JT Fox, always says to me, hedge and diversify. So first and foremost, Sonia, I love gold as money. The rest of it is currency and credit. And most people don't have a clue about what is money and what is the difference between money and currency. And so
and I didn't, Kerry, I didn't until I met you and you explained it recently in Sydney. So that's why, yeah, please go on.
So most money is gold and silver, has been over 5,000 years. The rest of it is credit. And right now, I'm talking to you, we're in the midst of a pandemic. There's a lot of fear and panic going around. And I think it's a great time for people to understand that all the stuff that people get, so you get paid every 2 weeks, or you get paid every fortnight, is digits in your bank. You trust the banks to hold on to it. Banks will lend out that, what I call fiat currency, paper money, to other lenders. And I'm not saying it definitely will happen, but the reason that I want people to understand about money versus currency is because money can't be printed away. And we can see right now that we are in all sorts of hurt around the world. Businesses closing down. We're all being, sent into self-isolation, home detention, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not putting that down as something that shouldn't be done. I'm just saying that now is the time that when people are binging on Netflix, why don't they, do things like educate themselves about what money really is? You need to protect your wealth. You need to understand money. So one of the things that I encourage my clients to do and people I talk to is go onto YouTube and watch Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney.
Oh, yes, it's an 11-part about that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an 11-part series, and it just explains, the history of money, the history of currency, what are the central banks, what are they doing? And as I said to you before, Sonia, right now, in order for us to get through all these businesses shutting down, governments are printing money in order to be able to help people along the way.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And this is the time for us to be able to reflect, to be able to take the time and have a think about, what is it we need? Now, you touched on a point there that I myself have been looking at, and it's about diversifying. Now, I think everybody thinks that they need to have their money in bricks and mortar, or they need to have it, in the bank. I think you discussed recently, well, what if we can't access our money from the bank?
And that's a good point, Sonia, because people say, oh, that will never happen. Well, look back to 2013 in Cyprus when the governments basically turned around and took 10% of everybody's wealth as was kind of like a wealth tax. If you had X amount of money in the bank, they had to take some of it to save the country. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist as such. All I'm saying to people is, if you don't have the knowledge and you don't understand how economies work and how currency is printed, and by the way, it's every fiat currency, and by the way, what I mean by fiat, F-I-A-T currency, is that's just paper money.
Yeah.
That is what we now use because it's convenient. But every fiat currency going back to the start of fiat currencies, and there have been many more fiat currencies than any of us know. Every single one has failed during over history.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying to people is, instead of sitting back and watching Netflix, go and get yourself educated by understanding what money is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying to sell your house and your children and put it.
I wouldn't get much. I mean the house, not the children.
But don't sell it all and go into all into gold. You know, it's what we said before: hedge and diversify.
Yeah.
And for those people that are struggling out there and saying, "Well, I don't have 2 cents to rub together," well, this is the time that if you don't have it, then start to educate yourself.
Yeah, work out how you can get it, and as you're saying, it's about learning and educating, because we can all learn something new. Now, just going back, I know last time when we met up in Sydney, you discussed about gold, and I think people will expect that to buy gold you need a lot of money. Now, obviously, the more money you have, you can obviously buy a lot more. But can you just talk to me a little bit about that, please, Kerry?
Sure. Right now, we are living in a technology revolution. So if you went right back in time to when gold was used to buy goods and services, people would take the physical gold, and back in the Roman Empire, they would take the physical gold and they'd say, "Here's a little bit of gold, and I want 3 goats."
Yeah.
In time, that changed. Why did that change? Well, the governments of the day started to use, there was a large war on, so the government had to pay for the war. So these coins, instead of being pure gold, they started to be infused with copper. So they were able to print or produce more coins for people to use, but the value got less. But people didn't realize that at the time.
No.
Now, these days, we can buy gold in so many different ways. Now, I personally like to buy my gold, but now the jewelry you see around my neck, that's actually a gold nugget.
I know.
So it's not jewelry per se, because it is a solid gold nugget.
Yeah.
But I wear it.
Accessorized with it, though.
You can.
Yes.
So that's one way. And there's a goldmoney.com. They actually now have a jewelry business where you can buy a piece of jewelry which is pure gold and not marked up like they are in the jewelry stores.
Yeah.
So that's one way. Another way that you can buy gold is you can go to a refinery such as the Perth Mint over in Perth and pick up physical gold. Although I have to say right now, there is a lack of physical gold for immediate delivery.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there has been a little bit of a rush on it. We haven't seen the uptick in the prices as yet. I think we will. But right now, you can lock in the price, but you won't get delivery for possibly 8 to 12 weeks from the Perth Mint.
And that's been expected with everything at the moment. So
yeah, and you'll have refineries in New Zealand as well. So it's a matter of doing your research and finding out and calling them and finding out what it is. But if you can't travel to Perth, you can't go to ABC Bullion in Sydney and buy gold, for example, you can do it online. As an example, I know that the Perth Mint has an app called the Gold Pass app. And you can put as little or as much as you like through the Gold Pass app.
Yeah.
And of course, the Perth Mint is backed by the West Australian government. So it's very secure. In Sydney, we have ABC Bullion. It's another refiner. And they have a Gold Saver account. Excuse me. And the Gold Saver account...
Ovoid cough, is it?
Not me, darling. Not me.
Oh, I know.
But you can put as little as you like into a Gold Saver account. So instead of saving in currency, which can go up and down,
yeah,
you save in gold.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's like in New Zealand, but in Australia, they always talk about the gold price as being, X amount of US dollars. Now, I'm putting my glasses on here because I'm just going to point something out to all of your listeners.
Yes.
Which is I grabbed this.
Not
morning.
the glasses that Vince Vaughn wore, was it?
No, these aren't. The ones that Vince Vaughn wore recently in Los Angeles when we went to Mega Success Convention, which was amazing, where I met yourself. They are in lockdown.
This lovely lady, Kerry, Vince Vaughn was on stage speaking to us and he couldn't read an article. So this lovely lady runs up with them. Were they pink or greenish or?
They were purple and green.
Purple and green. And honestly, they suited him. But hey, who else has had their glasses worn by Vince Vaughn? There you go, Kerry. Sorry, interrupting your chain of thought.
But you know what, Sonia? I'll tell you something about that. I mean, everybody talks about that moment. And I took action quickly.
Oh, exactly.
And I think that's one of the things that your listeners need to know. Over the years, I've always taken action.
Yeah.
You know, when other people were thinking about gold, they were going, oh, but it's too expensive. Well, I bought it when it was 1,640 Australian dollars. Okay. At today's prices, it's about 2,700 Australian dollars. Now, it's not because the gold price has had a massive upswing.
Yeah.
It's because the Australian dollar has had a massive downgrade.
Exactly.
All right. So, you know, people always say, oh, I won't do it now, it's too expensive. Well, those are the people always going to be, you know, so I relate that because take opportunities.
Yeah. Make opportunities where you can.
Okay,
yeah.
So I'm going to talk about now the gold price performance in US dollars.
Yeah.
Versus Australian dollars. And this is what I mean about currency versus money.
Okay, sounds good.
So the gold price in US dollars 20 years ago has gone up 490%. So if you'd owned it 20 years ago, 490% is your increase so it's a currency hedge.
Yeah.
Talk about hedge and diversify. Over the last 30 days, it's gone down by 2%. And today it's down just under 1%. But if I look at that in Australian dollars, okay,
yeah,
it's gone up by about the same, 496%. But in the last 30 days, it's up 7%.
Mm.
Now, you don't get 7% on interest in the bank. And if you take into account inflation, your money in the bank is actually losing purchasing power.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And so that's my passion. My passion is to get people to understand purchasing power of your dollar versus holding gold so that if and when you need it in the future, it will have preserved your wealth.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, that's great. And honestly, for people out there like myself, when I first met you, all I know is that I love gold. Didn't know exactly what, investing, what gold was about. But I've just learned even some more today. I've learned. So it's just good to know that as you say, with the times we're in and what we're doing, that we can diversify. That it is okay to look at other things. And, as you say, look at those prices. That was quite good examples because you can see it's inflated. And I know definitely we can't get 7% in our banks at the moment. We're lucky to get anything at the moment. But, so I guess that's reflecting on, as you say, the currency, what's in your banks, paper money, and what else you can look at, whether it be gold, whether it be bricks and mortar, whatever it is, diversify. And if you can do all of it, hey, good, that's great. But it's also about protecting yourself, isn't it? And as you say, informing yourself and knowing. So if people would like to know more about this, Kerry, and would like to contact you, what is the best way to contact you?
Oh, that's a good question. They can send an email to Stevenson, STEVENSON.Kerry, KERRY @gmail.com. That's the easiest way to contact me via email.
Yep. Otherwise, if anyone wants to know more, they just contact me and I'll contact Kerry, definitely.
Well, there's another way that they can do it, a little bit about gold. They can go to my website, which is goldevent.com.au. Yep. There is an ebook there that they can download, which is just gives you a little bit of the basics of investing in gold and what is gold.
What was that website again, please?
Gold Event, GOLDEVENT, goldevent.com.au.
Sounds good. I'm going to read about gold this afternoon.
And Sonia, we currently are still holding the line. We do an annual conference, as I said, in Sydney, Australia.
Yep.
Every year. This year, it's from the 19th to the 21st of August.
Right. Yep.
Right now, I'm still holding the line on that one, but we'll do updates on our website.
Yeah. So for anyone that is interested and would like to attend that annual event, that's a perfect opportunity, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because we get some fantastic keynote speakers. I also have a podcast series coming out shortly. That's the Alternative Investment Show.
Wow.
Sonia, I'll send that link to you because this week I'm actually going to be talking with Jim Rickards, who's written a number of books on gold.
Yep.
The latest one that I'm reading right now is called Aftermath.
Right.
And I think there's one thing that people do need to know is that there are 7 stages of any empire. You know, Roman Empire, current empires we live in, and they are this. Number 1, there is always sound money. And what is sound money? That's the gold and silver. Then you get number 2, you get layers of public work. So governments build roads, they build infrastructure, et cetera, et cetera. Quite often there becomes a build-up of the military within those empires because they're fighting wars. You have wars, and the wars create currency debasement. Then you have a loss of faith in that currency. And then finally you have a currency crisis, and then gold starts to account for that currency, that fiat currency. So that's sort of the stages of empires. And you'll learn that on Hidden Secrets of Money with Mike Maloney.
Yeah. Look, thank you so much, Kerry. Apart from being an awesome lady, you definitely know your stuff. And I was very privileged to have met you, and likewise you meeting me, I think.
Well, Sonia, I will say this about you, that you have such great energy. And I know that you do a lot of property, you help people in property over in New Zealand. And I think that if people were looking at property, New Zealand's a great place to buy. And you've got such a beautiful soul in the way you want to help people. And for you, from meeting you, it's not just about the money for you. You want to help people to create their own wealth. And you do that through property. And now you're learning about gold and currency. And I'm sure that you're going to, you know, as you're doing now.
Well, I'll be diversifying soon. Yeah, definitely. And appreciate that. And as you say, though, the biggest thing, and I think why we are so similar, is that we do act and we do implement. And for a lot of people that are sitting on the couch, either learn more, don't just say, no, it's not for me, learn a little bit more about it. And if it's not for you, then that's fine. But otherwise, don't be saying in a few years' time, oh, I wish I had have acted on that. Do that now. So thank you very much, all the way from Sydney. And
I'm gonna leave you with one last comment.
Oh, yes, please.
Remain calm, get educated, and be resourceful. That's my mantra.
Yeah, I like that. Remain calm, get educated, and be resourceful. Yeah, something I go by as well. We have to do that. So thank you very much, Kerry. Whoops, just about stopped that.